In this video, we are going to learn of negative powers of 10. Negative powers of 10 is SOLVA 7, 1A. I can recognize powers of 10 with negative exponents by examining patterns. So we're going to examine patterns. I can represent power of 10 with a negative exponent in fraction and decimal form. So we're going to turn these negative powers of 10 into decimals and fractions. Let's begin. All right. I want us to start with the positive. Remember, anything to the 0 power is, so 10 to the 0 power is, and 10 to the first power is, and that's equal to, and 10 to the second power is 10 times 10. It's not so easy to write with the mouse, which is equal to 100. And I want you to start looking to see a pattern. 10 to the third power is 10 times 10 times 10, and that is going to equal to 1,000. And again, look at the patterns. You've got the exponent is 3, and there are 3 zeros. It's 10 times itself 3 times. The exponent here is 2, and there are 2 zeros. The exponent is 1, and there's 1 zero. The exponent is 0, and there are no zeros. Those are the positive ones. Look at the pattern of the positive ones. And now we're going to go to the negative ones. Remember the number line. The 0 is the mirror, and after 0 is positive 1, and directly the mirror opposite is negative 1. And on the other side is positive 2, and the direct mirror opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. So we see right here in the center, this 1 is 0, the power of 0. And then you go up to positive 1 and down to negative 1. So here is your number line. And I want you to notice the pattern of the negative 1. And that's what we're going to look at now. And those who are interested, I love the idea that all these 0 3s, there are 12 of them for trillion, 9 of them for billion, there are 15 of them for quadrillion. That's very interesting. Now, here's what we're going to be able to do at the end of this lesson. We're going to be able to take the negative power of 10, turn it into a fraction and into a decimal. And notice they compare the positive powers on the other side so we can see the pattern. Let's go. 10 to the negative 2. Now, if we have 10 to the positive 2, what would that be in expanded form? It would be 10 times 10. And of course, that will be 100. But the negative is the reciprocal, the opposite. Please note, a negative exponent is not a negative number. It just tells us that the number is very, very small, very smaller than 1. So 10 to the negative 2 is 1 over 100, or it's in the 100th place. Notice there are negative 2 here and 2 zeros. at the bottom of the fraction. We can also write it as 1 over 10 to the second power. So then how do we write 10 to the negative 3 in expanded form? Yes, 1 over 10 times 1 over 10. And how many of them do we put? Yes, that's right. We put 3 of them because the exponent is negative 3. And the decimal, notice the decimal. There are 2 digits after the decimal. It's 10 to the second, 10 to the negative 2, which is in the hundredth place. So where do you think it's going to be for the negative 3? You start with the decimal, you put a 1 on the end, and counting with the 1, you want 3 digits. So 1, and annex to 2 zeros, and there you have it. You've got negative 3 and 3 digits. So how's it going to look as a fraction? That's correct. It's going to be 1 over a 1 with 3 zeros. And so just keep looking for that pattern. If you're going to write it in decimal, in exponent form, it's going to be 1 over 10 to the third power. So I want you to finish the pattern. Remember, you're going to complete the chart. Look back at the pattern. When you're finished, there are games to practice. But the goal is to finish your mastery check with at least 80%. And then you can move on to lesson 3, scientific notation.